It's not like that. You privatize water promising that the bill will go down, and then you raise the bill. Am I lying to the people?
Was Sabesp a state-owned company, or was it a mixed ownership company?
It's a company controlled by the state. Hold on, no, wait, he answered.
Was it state-owned or a mixed ownership company?
It was like Banco do Brasil.
Who sold Sabesp shares on the New York Stock Exchange?
1 minute.
Alckmin.
But hold on, let me tell you. You're asking me a question, I'll answer you. Of course, technically. Because my specialty is in public finance. Banco do Brasil is a state-owned company and has shares on the stock exchange. Sabesp is a state-owned company. I learned
that they are mixed ownership companies. What is Petrobras called? Isn't Petrobras Petróleo Brasileiro Sociedade Anônima?
Isn't Banco do Brasil a corporation? How is it state-owned? Is it or not? Is Petrobras a state-owned company or not? No, it is.
It's a company with mixed public-private ownership.
No, but who controls it?
Well, control is one thing, but the funding comes from private capital.
What defines whether a company is state-owned or not is who controls it, right?
Petrobras, the former Sabesp, Banco do Brasil, the former Eletrobras before privatization. They were state-owned companies with publicly traded shares, but still state-owned companies. The private sector participated as a minority shareholder, but control remained with the state.
Caixa Econômica Federal is a 100% public company. It doesn't have shares on the stock market, 100% state-owned. So, the fact is, we have to understand...
Since we sometimes get confused about it.
So you have three. You have the 100% state-owned company Caixa Econômica Federal. You have a company with mixed public-private ownership with state control. Like Petrobras, Banco do Brasil, and the former Sabesp. Before privatization, what Tarcísio sold was the control of the company, promising that the bill would go down, but it went up and the service got worse. So, that's what we're talking about. When we say like that there was no need to sell Sabesp Alckmin, who took it public, who sold in the
New York Stock Exchange.
The shares. Which shares?
And it's from your government.
And it is.
And that's fine. He didn't give up control of Sabesp. Sabesp has had profits before privatization of over $3 billion per year.
This was distributed to shareholders as it is today.
That's right. And now that the control is no longer private, it's no longer public, what's happening is that the profit is going up to $9 billion per year because the service got worse with the dismissal of 47% of the workforce, including specialists in the field.
You must have heard that 3 people died in Sabesp's construction works recently. 3 people.
Yes, in that accident, right?
3 people have died. A series of incidents are happening all over the region. There are protests at the Sabesp headquarters because people in the outskirts of São Paulo can't take a shower.
You know that Renan Filho entered into 3 times as many partnerships with the private sector than Tarcísio.
But is Renan Filho a member of the PT?
He's part of the PT government, of course. He's a minister under Lula, so...
I often see much criticism of private capital's involvement, boo.
I'm the author of the PPP law in Brazil, who drafted the public-private partnership law.
It was me as an advisor, a third of what Renan did, besides the mess he made with the railway concessions, which we had to review everything. Almost all the railway concession contracts made by Tarcísio had to be reviewed by us. And in the highway sector, Renan Filho did 3 times more than Tarcísio. That's not true.
ProUni is the biggest PPP in the history of Brazilian education. My wife and I were the ones who delivered the project to Minister Tarso General.
So that's not true, Hiroto. There's a lot of prejudice, you know. People get stuck on certain ideas.
And they keep repeating them. It's not true.
It's just that many times we read the PT platform.
I read it and I know it because we're against some privatizations. Hey, want to see something?
Let's go.
They privatized São Paulo's funeral service, and he's your guy. It got more expensive. The service didn't improve because it was already good.
Have you visited the cemetery since it was privatized? I have. And it got much better. I went to Araçá Cemetery.
Hero, doctor!
I went there and looked.
Man, it's much better now. They're paying 12,000 reais, even up to 18,000 reais to bury someone in São Paulo.
Things are happening. This isn't prejudice against the private sector, Hiroi. You're misunderstanding it, but still, there are things. I'm against privatizing funeral services. And I'm the author of the ProUni law,
which enabled 3 million people in Brazil to attend college. So I think you can't be dogmatic. Either privatize everything or nationalize everything. You have to analyze each case. And in my opinion, the governor, as the Minister of Infrastructure, did little on the highways, a third of what was done in this government. And on the railways, much of what he did was wrong. So I'm making a technical assessment of the work. And it's not just my assessment, it's the Court of Accounts. The federal one. There are more of his people in the Court of Accounts than ours. And the Court of Audit acknowledged that the concession contracts he made in the railway network needed to be reviewed. There were billions in losses. Few people talk about that. But as a candidate for governor of São Paulo, I have to say what Tarcísio did as a minister, what he did as governor, because otherwise the voter won't make a decision with the right information. Now the voter is the sovereign.
But for him to exercise his sovereignty at the ballot box, he needs to be informed.
So what I'm saying here, you can Google it and see for yourself.
Check with ChatGPT. Check with an AI.
I'm stating that when it comes to rail and highway concessions, Tarcísio did a third of what Renan did. Railway concessions, he did more, all wrong. We had to review it. Sale of Sabesp, he sold it at 20 below market value, sold it to just one bidder. Because of clauses that he kept adding to the bid notice, which drove away interested parties. Clauses that drove away interested parties, possible interested parties. And the promise of a reduction in the water bill didn't come true. The bill went up. Everything I'm saying here, the person who's listening to me can check, right? You can check on Google, use artificial intelligence, and question me. Now, if what I'm saying is true, and I know it is, the person can perhaps weigh this information and say, well, should I give someone another chance to stay there for 4 more years? Or are we falling behind in education? Are we falling behind in finances? I'm stating here that São Paulo is worse than Ceará and Pernambuco in quality and worse than Piauí in full-time education. These are things that can be checked. People don't have to believe whoever is saying it anymore. They have thousands of sources of information. It's easy to look things up today. I'm stating that. So, and I would like to be questioned about this because I wish my state was better.
But unfortunately, it's not.
Fernando Haddad, our time is up.
But you managed to get your message across, right? You did.
Of course, and I wanted to thank you for being here at Nova Brazil, here on RTH Mais, right? Because our mission here is focused on citizenship, so that people understand and can choose more with their heads and less with their hearts.
That's the dream.
So we can escape from that, what's it called?
From polarization. From polarization. Actually, it's not polarization that we want to escape from because, there will always be 2 competent people. Of course, obviously.
Of course.
So thank God we are in a democracy that has competition between parties and all that. But what we need is for people to put their own interests ahead of political passions. That the voter, that the citizen is able to judge work objectively and say, look, should we continue down this path or not? And the beauty of democracy is that this competition dignifies politics. As long as it's done without lies, without fake news, with mutual respect, without personal attacks, but with facts, right?
You can put your opponent in a tough spot, but with concrete facts.